Everyone thought Matty Juniosa earned his golden buzzer on Britain's Got Talent purely through the magic of his voice. However, if you slow down his audition tape right before the final high note, there is one microscopic movement that escaped millions of eyes. This subtle shift proves that his performance wasn't an emotional stroke of luck, but rather a highly calculated psychological trap. Good evening. I am reporting to you with an exclusive investigative feature on the viral phenomenon that defined this season of BGT. Millions of viewers worldwide watched Matty deliver a show-stopping rendition of Purple Rain, securing the highly coveted golden buzzer from music mogul Simon Cowell. The international press has endlessly replayed the breathtaking climax, praising his raw emotional delivery. However, our media analysts have slowed down the broadcast footage frame by frame, uncovering a series of survival tactics that the mainstream media completely overlooked. When you examine the exact moment before he unleashes his high-note compression in the final act, there is a nearly invisible physical shift. He deliberately drops his posture and enters a split-second instrumental pause. While the audience interpreted this as a performer getting lost in the emotion of the lyrics, elite vocal coaches have identified this maneuver as an advanced acoustic recovery zone. Singing a structurally demanding rock anthem requires a dangerous level of physical exertion.
By intentionally creating this microscopic pause, he was able to drastically lower his heart rate and recalibrate his diaphragmatic breathing. If he had not executed this precise biological reset under the studio lights, the sheer force of those final notes could have shattered his vocal cords on live television. He wasn't just performing a song, he was executing a flawless, high-stakes physical operation. This extreme level of discipline completely shatters the illusion of an amateur singer who simply got lucky. Beyond the physical mechanics of his performance, our investigative team has uncovered a profound layer of psychological manipulation occurring directly on that grand stage. Reality television is fundamentally a game of emotional resonance, and Matty played the judging panel with the absolute precision of a seasoned broadcast producer. If you closely monitor his eye contact and stage presence during the most pivotal chord progressions, a clear tactical pattern emerges. He didn't just sing out into the dark auditorium hoping to impress a general audience. Instead, he locked his focus directly on Simon Cowell, right during the sweeping musical arrangements that Cowell is historically known to favor. By keeping his vocal tone incredibly quiet, breathy, and highly vulnerable throughout the entire first half of the song, he perfectly matched Cowell's well-known production preference for emotional storytelling over excessive vocal gymnastics.
Presenter TV host, he deliberately withheld his power, lowering the panel's expectations and building a torturous sense of anticipation. When the mathematical climax of the song finally arrived, the subsequent vocal explosion triggered an immediate, uncontrollable commercial instinct within the music mogul. He didn't stand on that stage asking for validation. He systematically orchestrated a scenario where Simon Cowell was left with absolutely no choice but to press that button. This is a masterclass in behavioral targeting, proving that he had spent years studying his target. The sheer audacity to stand on a foreign stage and dictate the emotional trajectory of a seasoned television executive truly transforms what appeared to be a standard audition into a high-level negotiation where the artist held all the control from the very first note. While the final broadcast painted a picture of absolute triumph, our network sources have leaked deeply concerning information regarding a secret medical crisis occurring entirely behind the scenes in the days leading up to the audition. The mainstream narrative suggests a smooth path to success, but the reality inside the rehearsal corridors was fraught with immense biological danger. Just 48 hours before he stepped into the studio spotlights, fierce rumors began circulating among the production staff that Matty was experiencing severe larynx muscle fatigue.
The grueling, non-stop preparation schedule required by the network had taken a horrifying toll on his body. Insiders report that he was suffering from vocal hoarseness, a terrifying symptom for a vocalist preparing to execute one of the most demanding songs in music history. He walked onto that stage knowing full well he was operating on a razor's edge. One miscalculated breath, one unsupported high note, or a momentary lapse in concentration could result in a permanent career-ending failure right in front of millions. The flawless performance that captivated the internet was in reality a desperate fight for his anatomical survival. This hidden medical hazard adds a staggering amount of weight to his achievement. He wasn't just battling his own nerves, he was fighting his own failing physique. The fact that he managed to conceal this massive struggle behind a veil of artistic passion is proof of incredibly rare professionalism. The executives watching from backstage were collectively holding their breath, fully aware that the magnificent vocal display they were witnessing could fall apart at any given second. To fully grasp the magnitude of this television masterpiece, we have to look at the hidden messages embedded within the performance itself, pointing directly to a highly strategic redemption plan.
Fans and investigative journalists digging into his professional history have uncovered a chilling detail about his exceptionally quiet, fragile demeanor before the music started. Years ago, during a major broadcasting competition in his home country, he was brutally eliminated in the first round and received the lowest possible public scores. By deliberately beginning the song with such exposed vulnerability, he was silently mirroring the exact terrified, unpolished artist he was when the local industry threw him away. It was a brilliant, silent act of defiance, showing them exactly what they discarded, before ultimately transforming into an unstoppable vocal machine at the end of the track. This revelation brings our entertainment analysts to an undeniable conclusion. This victory was never a magical accident or spontaneous luck. Matty mathematically engineered this television outcome during his grueling, isolated years washing dishes and studying musical theater in Glasgow. He mapped the acoustic frequencies, decoded the psychological triggers of the judging panel, and walked onto the stage holding a meticulously crafted, loaded weapon of an audition. The tears of joy and the falling gold confetti were genuine emotional reactions, but the element of surprise was completely controlled by one side. The entire audience and the judges thought they were watching a humble underdog stumble into his big break.
But in actual reality, the world was merely watching a mastermind successfully trigger a trap he had been building for years, fundamentally outsmarting the most powerful reality television system on the planet.